The Gun Shop Show, the Gun Shop Show. What is it? We don't know. The Gun Shop Show, the Gun Shop Show. Here we go, it's the Gun Shop Show.
Sick of being looked at like a criminal. I didn't kill those kids. I didn't kill the people in the church or at the concert. I am not a criminal. There is no blood on my hands. No one that is in the media eye right now seems to be able to explain why I should lose my right to own a firearm. They talk about how deadly these guns are. Well, guess what, champ? I'm far more likely to die from being obese and fat than I am from getting shot. I'm far more likely to get hit by a drunk driver or a kid that's texting and driving.
All right.
There's
Welcome
no national march to stop
the Gun
that.
Shop
There's
Show.
no march on Washington
you
to
are
stop
hearing
bullying.
is today's guest. That is Jon Patton with the Gun Collective. He is the founder and creator of one of the largest YouTube and Facebook gun content channels. It is the internet's home for firearms news, and he'll be joining us in the next segment. We'll break down some exciting stuff. We've got a jam-packed show for you today. We're also joined by the programming director from our gracious hosting station at Zimmer Radio. That is Newstalk KZRG. Peter Theil will be on in just a minute. We're going to, as we do in every show, give away some free merch. It's not a chance to win. You will get a chance to win. So, like every show, I am joined in the homemade control room by my man Trevor. And then also to my right is Logan Jones. And Logan has in front of him some fun stuff we've been doing this week, which is we had an ammo guessing contest where you got a chance to win some 9mm ammo by being the closest guess. And then we had a 7-way tie. So we then asked our 7 closest guessers to go guess another thing. We called it the guess off, which was a jar of gummy bears. So we will cover all of that today. We'll also give away some cleaning kits when you buy some Liberty Tree merch. We're going to shoot this cool old revolver. Well, we've already shot it, but we're going to show you what that was like. This is a consignment firearm. We're going to talk about Liberty Tree Guns consignment program, how Liberty Tree Guns, which is where we're coming to you broadcasting from the sales floor, became one of the nation's highest volume dealers of used firearms. So we're going to break all that down today. We're going to be joined by Jon Patton of the Gun Collective, who is someone that's putting out some of the very best gun content on the planet, coming to you through the various forms of internet video content. We're going to talk about how hard it is to do that in today's climate where the major platforms are anti-gun. So, but without further ado, I'd like to bring in Peter from Newstalk KZRG. So we're going to take just a second and get him slid in here. And what you're seeing on screen is that consignment gun that we're going to break down today. And if you're listening on the radio, you can't see it, but you can always join us on Facebook.com/LibertyTreeGuns and see the things that we reference, in video form. So I am joined now by Peter. Peter, thanks for coming in.
Hey, thanks, Eli. It's so great to be here and be at Liberty Tree Guns. What a great place.
Thank you. This has been an idea. I mean, this being the Gun Shop Show for a few years, and we finally made it happen.
No, it's great. And we love having you on Saturday mornings at 9 on Newstalk KZRG. And love the idea of discussing our Second Amendment rights and the ability to, for home protection, for hunting, for sport shooting, all the great things that happen around the shooting sports.
Yeah, and I don't know if you were able to hear that intro right before you came on, but our guest, we played a clip of a bit of a rant video on the topic of our gun rights, and that is just part of what we're going to cover here on the Gun Shop Show. We know that a lot of KZRG listeners are Second Amendment supporters, and so we're happy to get to be that voice. But I'll tell you what, people that think that radio and being a radio host is easy, you just turn on the mic and go, there's a lot of work.
No, it's, let's see, for a 2-hour show in the morning, I'm doing about 6 hours of prep.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just reading, finding stuff. Last night, I swear to you, I read all sorts of stuff, and it was 7:30. I had no idea what we were doing this morning. None. 0.0 for Friday morning. So what I ended up doing is I just sat there and go, okay, it's crunch time. You've read all that stupid stuff. I kept saying to myself, let's just go through it and get it and find it and put it together. And sometimes it's just being up against the last minute. You know, you've done all the prep, you've done all the reading, you've done all the stuff, and then boom.
Yeah, that's. I was having a real hard time adjusting to that because out of fear of not being prepared, I went and, we would have pages of content that we thought we were going to cover, and then the clock started running, and we realized you can't cover everything you've thought of.
Yeah, I end up coming up with, on the KZRG Morning News Watch, I end up coming up with, there's 3 pages to 4 pages of prep with links every day. And if we get to 2 pages, it's a lot.
Well, give me a little bit of wisdom, a little bit of your advice. How do you deal with the fact that hey, that would have been really good, but then sometimes that just has to go in the trash and you don't get to it? Yeah,
it's just you have to prioritize what's the best, and sometimes it's a judgment call. Sometimes you're leaving something on the in the stack of stuff that would have been better to do, and it's just the whole deal is just getting into the rhythm, making sure that you're leading with what you think is the best, and you may kick yourself and say, I had a joke that I had, just a one-line joke on paper for 4 days before I got to say it on the air. And it was still green, so I could still do it.
I believe it, because there's times when we'll all sit and we kind of, there's some humor in our show, and we have something we're like, oh, that'd be great. Our listeners would love it, so let's do this. And we all talk about it and how, when we'll fit that in. And then this segment goes by, and we're like, hey, we didn't do that thing.
No, it happens all the time.
So I'm curious, have you heard any feedback as far as from radio listeners? We've heard them. There are a lot of our customers that watch the live stream.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of feedback. I think people have enjoyed we put up the podcast on the KZRG Facebook page, which has almost 61,000 people who have liked it. So we put it up. We've gotten good feedback. People are enjoying it, and I think the deal is that right now, I think because of all the topsy-turvy nature of the news and what's going on with people being concerned about safety and stuff like that, there really could not be a better time to talk about personal protection, about guns, about the best gun to shoot, the best gun for you. All that type of stuff is so important right now.
We found that we had a lot of first-time gun owners, probably the most ever, a wave of them during when it really was when they first started announcing the mandatory lockdown, because people didn't know, how far apart is society going to fall.
Yes.
And so we had people that maybe they grew up in a house that was not pro-gun, or maybe
they just didn't have guns in the house.
Right.
Yeah.
But we had people that I was kind of against this, but they realized police are making announcements. We're not going out to every call. Now, not to say our local law enforcement hasn't done a great job and they were still responding to violent crime, but just the awareness that they may not be there depending on how busy they are.
Well, and the first stop for defense is at your home. Is that a bad guy shows up and they want to do whatever a bad guy wants to do, whether physical harm or property harm or whatever that may be. Is that as good as our police officers are, and they're fantastic, many of them are absolutely amazing, guess what? They can't be to your home in 30 seconds.
No, there's a saying that I always like to quote, which is, when seconds matter, the police are just minutes away.
Yes.
And it's true, because, even with the best of intentions, even if they happen to be close, there's the delay. You have to call dispatch, let them know where you are. The police have to physically get there, and there's a delay there. And so people start to have that realization that...
In my neighborhood, I live in Webb City, and I have 3 police officers in my neighborhood. And there still would be a delay. Is that there would be a delay for what was going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was a huge eye opener for a lot of people, and we sold a record number of guns in general because it was both new owners and people who already were gun owners, but they needed to stock up.
And stimulus check. What are you going to do with that? Well, buy a new gun.
Yeah. Episode number 2 of the Gun Shop Show was called Get Stimulated, and it was about how to spend your $1,200 stimulus check. So
that's an investment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Investment in your safety, and it holds its value.
There certainly are purchases that are much more frivolous because we've seen it. People know that guns hold value, and they'll buy them. Depending on the climate, they'll bring them back and sell them, and get most, if not all, their money back at times. Peter, I really appreciate you being here. We're so excited to be on Newstalk KZRG and in the lineup of great programs that are on your station.
Thank you very much. We're excited to have you, and have a great rest of the show.
All right. Thank you, Peter. Appreciate you being here. We are joined next segment by Jon Patton from the Gun Collective. He is who you heard that rant video. Not all his videos are rant videos. In fact, he puts out a high volume of content, really great, high-quality content. We're going to break all that down. We're also going to announce the winner of the Gummy Bear Guessing Contest. We are going to give away some free hats. We're going to talk about our new shirt designs and how you can get a free cleaning kit when you pick up one of the awesome new shirts from Liberty Tree Guns that help support the show and do all of those important things. So stay with us. We are live on Newstalk KZRG. Hey, podcast listeners and live stream viewers. I wanted to let you know that the Gun Shop Show is made possible by our friends at Mid-America RV. Being in the customer service industry, I have a really high standard for how customers are treated. Mid-America RV does it right. I've got my RV through their dealership, and I've taken it all over the country. We made it to South Padre Island. We've gone to Colorado several times. And if you've ever owned an RV, you know there's a lot that comes with it. So who you get it from matters. And it's extremely important that you have support after the sale. And here's some photos of my trips to Colorado that we took in our RV from Mid-America RV. They're located just outside of Carthage. They have a really vast inventory, and they are home of the lifetime RV warranty. So I believe they call it a forever warranty. So I urge you, if you're in the market for one, to check them out. It's a really fun and can be very affordable way to get your trips in. So visit them at midamericarv.com. We appreciate their support of the Gun Shop Show. And as you can see, they have a large inventory selection of trailers and fifth wheels, and they specialize in those. They don't carry any motorhomes or anything like that. So if you are in the market for a tow-behind RV of any size, from a little teardrop to a full-size trailer, I urge you to check out Mid-America RV. Now, we weren't sent any promotional material, so we decided, and this is from genuinely from my personal experience. There's a trip of me in Colorado in my Surveyor that I got from Mid-America RV, and so we decided we would make our own commercial for these guys since we believe in them so much. So, Trevor, I assume that you are prepared with material, right?
I'm going to jingle on the spot.
You didn't make one ahead of time.
I didn't. No, I didn't.
Right.
And I'm actually a little nervous right now.
Can you put it on the lot?
Yes, I can.
Okay. All right. Let's hear it.
Let's refresh. And here we go.
They may not appreciate this.
Mid-America RV, the San Francisco treat.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I'm not so hot at the making up of stuff, so I borrow from other people.
Okay, well, the point is Mid-America RV will treat you right. If you're in the market for a travel trailer or fifth wheel, check out Mid-America RV. Welcome back to the Gun Shop Show. I'm your host, Eli Bruton, and we have a really exciting guest coming up. But first, I need to tell you about your chance to grab some free merch from the Gun Shop Show and Liberty Tree Guns. We have free hats, and if you're watching on the live stream, you can see these hats. One of them is a Real Tree Hunters Unite blue and gray ball cap. The other is a white American flag ball cap. It's been pretty popular with the ladies. You can go to libertytreeguns.com, click the merch section, and those are literally there for $0. So you don't have to get a chance to win. You just go click, put it in the cart, pay $0. If you need us to ship it to you, we charge you just a little bit for shipping. If you want to pick it up in store, you can do that for free. So I want to get right to our guest because I'm so honored to have him on the Gun Shop Show. As you know, as a gun owner, gun info is not exactly mainstream, so we have to look for places to get not just information about guns, but quality gun content, and this guy and his channel, The Gun Collective, delivers it. I want to welcome to the show, Jon Patton. Hey, Jon.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for coming on the Gun Shop Show.
Heck yeah, man. Yeah, it's exciting. I'm really interested to see, what we're going to talk about. All these interviews are always fun and different. So yeah, I'm pumped.
Yeah, I've been watching your content pretty much since you got started, which was back in 2015, which is right around the time that Liberty Tree Guns was founded and we got open. So we've both been doing two separate things, but for the same length of time.
Well, that's cool, man. I'm glad that you guys were able to survive all those sort of low years of Trump being in office and the Trump slump, as it were. That's cool. Good for you.
Yeah, thank you. So tell us a little bit about the Gun Collective, and then I want to ask you about your background personally.
Sure. So the Gun Collective is, I always explain it like we make videos about guns and put them on the internet. It's a simple thing. We have a lot of different areas of focus. One of the sort of flagship things that we do is news on Mondays. On Monday evenings, afternoons, we release a news show. We release stuff on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and a couple other places. And we just try to cover what's new and cool in the gun industry. And so there's that. We also do reviews. My beautiful fiance Genevieve helps a lot with the review stuff. We've got a lot going on.
And you have, between YouTube and Facebook, your Facebook page is massive, almost 500,000 followers just right there. Then you also have YouTube subscribers. I would say it's probably easy to say you have 1 million people following your content all the time. So it's a big deal.
It doesn't really always feel that way, but it's really cool to know that there are people out there that give a crap about what we do.
There definitely are, man. I mean, I have looked at your channel as sort of standard, because you're going to get quality stuff. You know that you're going to be consistent in what you put out, and so there's definitely a lot of people that care about what you're doing and appreciate what you're doing. I wanted to ask you though, is this is what you do full time?
So the company is called Patton Media and Consulting, and the Gun Collective is sort of under that umbrella. We also do social media marketing consulting, a lot of stuff in the gun industry, of course. We've got our hands in a lot of different things, but the Gun Collective is certainly a big part of that. And yes, that's how we make a living.
It's pretty interesting, and I'm sure challenging at times, because a lot of these platforms that we need to be on to reach people in order to make a living, which you do. Maybe we'll talk about how you make a living doing that, but a lot of these platforms are not pro-gun.
No, they're absolutely not, but I think a lot of it comes down to advertisers deciding whether or not they want to promote. So they'll make the platforms will make decisions based on advertisers as opposed to their own political views a lot of times. So they want to create what they call quote unquote safe environments, even though it's kind of silly to think that somebody talking about a gun is unsafe on the internet, but that's a topic for another time. It's something that, the audience is there. There's a lot of people on Facebook. There's a lot of people on YouTube, the same on Instagram. So we want to be where the people are.
Yeah, we're obviously aware of that. I built my business, which started out as concealed carry training, on the back of Facebook, and still probably the primary way that people know about us and the product that we have in stock. So even if you don't love it, it's a necessary evil because that's where the eyeballs are.
Yeah. There's actually some great people in those organizations that are on our side, people that used to work there, and I think it's just a matter of trying to punch through and just ride the wave, and hopefully, they don't completely shut us out, but time will tell.
And just for the listener to understand, there's different ways to monetize content, and the primary way that a lot of channels do that, not necessarily on gun topics, is by the actual monetization features on YouTube, where the ads that people see when they click on a YouTube video, YouTube charges the advertiser to have that on there, and then a little portion of that goes to the content creator. But my understanding is, for guns specifically, that ship has sailed. That's not available anymore.
Yes and no. I mean, there are still guys out there that have monetized videos, but the entire category of guns is in, it's in like a different segment of what can be advertised on those channels. They put you in a different bucket, basically, and the advertisers can select where they're okay with their ad rolling. So if they're okay with it rolling on that type of video, then it goes out. It's something that years and years ago, used to be a primary source for a lot of people, guns and non-gun videos. And now it's just, as I call it, gas money.
Scraps,
it's really not. Yeah, it's really not a significant amount.
But
so
I
think a lot of guys in the gun industry are trying to find different ways to monetize.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I remember years ago, some guys that were fairly dependent on that. I don't remember if it was 22 Plinkster or who, but I saw a video, that at the time was his primary source of income. He got a lot of views, so people, he got that monetization money, and one day they just turned it off. No warning, you're not getting paid. And so he's waking up every morning, just like anybody with any other job, go out, make content that people want to see, and that's how he made a living. And one morning they turned it off.
Yeah, I don't know Plinkster's story on that. I know that type of thing has happened to a lot of creators in the gun industry. A lot of guys just one day their channel is demonetized entirely, and it's sort of a wake-up call to shift away from relying on YouTube in that case.
Yeah, so we're going to have to come right back, and when we do, I want to cover show some video content and play that back for the radio listener. We have one on the Smith & Wesson Shield 9EZ, and just give them a sample of the kind of stuff you put out so they can go to the Gun Collective and find a lot more great content. That'll be coming up.
Commercial idea for net fishes. I walk into the commercial director, we'll call him's office. I say to him, "Hey, how's it going?" He replies, "Good. We got your commercial ready to go. Are you ready to listen?" "Yeah, but before I do, I have an idea I want to float by you." He says, "Okay," a bit sarcastically. And I say, "All right." And I clear my throat and I start singing this song, something similar. Net fishes, we're all really good friends, hanging out and stuff, and having memories to talk about when we were young. Net fishes. And I say the business name wrong, like fish nets. He replies, "That's terrible. And you didn't even say the right business name at the end. It's your business." Then it cuts to net fishes, where we can all be friends. and commercial.
Guys, if you're anything like me, you would never buy a new vehicle, which means you need to find a good used vehicle, which is exactly what I did, and I found it at High Profile Power Sports. Jason over at High Profile helped me find my new beloved Bacon LT. And I was going to show off my Chevy Bacon LT, but I have a bird that has it out for me, and really ruined my ability to show off the Bacon LT that I got from High Profile. Again, I got my Bacon LT from High Profile. And again, a bird ruined my chance to show you because my truck is in a condition that I would be utterly embarrassed to put in an advertisement. So I would for sure never show my Bacon LT that I got from High Profile Sports covered in bird crap.
Never?
Never. Ugh. Again, if you're in the market for something like a Bacon LT, go to High Profile, get your Bacon LT from High Profile, go to hppowersports.com. Here, and I'm really excited to tell you that the Gun Shop Show is now brought to you by one of my favorite places on earth, located here in my hometown of Carthage on the beautiful historic square, and that is the Emporium on the square and the Woodshed. It's a art gallery, an event center, a gift shop. They have art classes, and probably my favorite part is the burger and steak joint in the back. But when you walk in, you're in this 150-year-old great big building, and there's very unique Americana artwork from famous artists like Andy Thomas. They handle a lot of his originals and do framing for him, and it just has this incredible old school vibe, and you can feel the history coming through. You have to check out the art gallery, but then as you work your way to the back, into my favorite part, that's the Woodshed. I've spent a lot of nights and had a lot of great meals in here. They've got burgers. They have catfish. I love their catfish. It's excellent. Chicken and waffles even. It's incredible. And it's also a music venue. So this year or last year, we got to see my favorite band of all time, the Ben Miller Band. This is a photo that you're seeing that I took. And the ceiling was literally raining down. They were rocking so hard. But the best thing about it is not only is this my favorite place on earth, but it's owned by one of my favorite people on earth. That's Cherry Babcock. And she is the real deal. She takes care of her customers while they're hosting an event or catering or having a special art class or just their normal business of selling burgers and steaks. Check out the Emporium on the Square and the Woodshed.
Kids are curious by nature. Do your part to prevent unwanted tragedy from striking in your home by doing these simple tasks. Consider gun locks and/or gun safes for storage of firearms. Don't leave your guns unattended where children could reach them. Discuss with your children the rules of firearm safety. Sign your kids up for hunter safety classes. Firearm safety in the household is your responsibility. Do your part to prevent unwanted tragedy from striking in your home. For more information, visit jaspercountysheriff.org.
The Smith & Wesson M&P 9 Shield EZ. It's a single stack mid-sized 9mm pistol with a 3.7-inch barrel and 8-round mags. It's aimed at customers that might not be able to easily manipulate and load other guns, but the question that comes to mind, is it any good? Let's find out after the jump. TacPack is an enthusiast.
So, John, that was a little snippet of your video on the Shield 9 EZ, which has been a super popular gun, a great seller for us. And so I wanted to talk about that, and then we'll play the rest of that video.
Sure. Yeah, I really, really enjoy that gun. That was one that I wasn't, we tried out the 380 version, and I was really skeptical. After shooting it, the 380 version is absolutely fantastic. We shot the Performance Center version of that. and then following that up with the 9, I genuinely think that is a really, really good way to get newer shooters that aren't necessarily familiar with manipulating the different controls and all that kind of stuff. I think it's a great way to do that and have them have a good grip and, kind of learn how to shoot properly on one of those. I think it's great.
Yeah, it has been. I've got one right here out of our inventory, still got the chamber flag in it. And, I'm always a believer that anybody can be shown how to manipulate a slide of any gun, but the shooter themselves, when they're new, cannot always be convinced of that. They're worried, I'm not going to be strong enough. And so this gun kind of, right in the product title, is it's easy to pull back, and that seems to have really resonated with consumers.
Yeah, I think the EZ line, I think they should continue to expand it and grow and try stuff. Like, I would love to see a 45 variant, a 40, and maybe even cross that over into other types of things, an EZ AR or something like that. I think that'd be incredible to kind of create a line for people that are maybe a little bit timid or maybe don't have the hand strength and things of that nature. I think it'd be great.
Yeah, I do too. So I want to play the rest of this video, and I think it's audio friendly enough so those that are just on the radio and they're not joining us on the feed on Liberty Tree's Facebook page, they're still going to get to enjoy this. We're going to talk about the Smith & Wesson Shield 9 EZ and the Gun Collective right now.
The Performance Center version, to be exact, in the fall of last year. We really enjoyed it, and when given the chance to look at the 9mm version, we were excited to see how it stacked up in comparison. The M&P lineup from Smith & Wesson is huge. There are tons of variations and versions of the line. This one happens to fall mostly in the defensive side of things as opposed to the duty or battle-ready side of things. Let's cover the basics. Like I said in the open, it's got a barrel shy of 4 inches. It's chambered in 9mm and has magazines with 8-round capacity. Beyond that, you have light texturing on the front of the slide with some more on the rear and some wider tabs to make gripping easier for manipulations. The front of the gun also has a nice big pick rail for mounting a light or laser if you want to. Moving back from there, it's got a plain trigger instead of a normal trigger dingus because this gun is actually hammer fired instead of striker. It's an internal hammer. The grip has the M&P 2.0 mildly aggressive texture like every other 2.0 in the line. It's one of the better factory grip textures in my opinion. And out back, the controversial grip safety. Oh, and the mags also have tabs on the side to help make loading a little bit easier. As far as shooting goes, the gun runs great. We ran a mix of brass case CCI stuff as well as some Barnaul steel case stuff. Not a single issue to report in terms of reliability. The experience of shooting was nice. Not too much recoil, which I was actually concerned about considering that lighter recoil spring. The only thing that we did notice was that the trigger has virtually no reset, except in the grip safety. You actually feel it. It's strange. You feel the reset in the grip safety more than you feel it in the trigger. Genevieve and I agreed that an aftermarket trigger would be a great upgrade here, or wait until the Performance Center version comes out because the trigger on that 380 version was fantastic.
Actually, you know what? Here's something very strange. I felt the reset in the grip safety more than I felt it in the trigger.
That's a first.
I've never had that happen before.
I like the way it shoots. I would just put an aftermarket trigger on it.
Yeah, I think so too.
And speaking of that grip safety, it can be a controversial thing. Folks get upset about the mere existence of it on a gun.
People always complain about a grip safety, but I've never had that be an issue for me, and I think the issue that people have is that it just adds complication to the gun. But like, if you're gripping the thing correctly, what does it matter?
My stance, if you're gripping the gun correctly, it's a total non-issue. Your mileage may vary, but I really don't understand why people get mad about it. Moving on from there, the slide catch was a little stiff.
You were having trouble with this?
It got a lot easier after like 2 mags.
I can see how that's pretty stiff, but
other than that, I'd say the overall experience we had with the gun was really good. Genevieve actually mentioned that she was considering swapping out her first gen Shield 9 for this one. You see, The way to think about this gun is less like a slim version of the double stack M&Ps and more like a full-size version of the smaller shield. With that in mind, we come back to the original question. Is it any good? Well, with an MSRP of $479 and a street price around $400, it's not the cheapest option out there, but for the customer that wants an easy-to-manipulate gun and the effectiveness of a 9mm defensive round in the chamber, this gun is basically unrivaled. There's nothing else on the market like it right now. What do you guys think? Are you considering one of these 9EZs, or do you already own one? Sound off in the comments below and let me know what's on your mind. If you guys enjoyed this video, please hit like, and if you think we earned it, get subscribed for more reviews and gun news every week. And as always, thank you all for watching. We'll see you soon.
You having fun?
Trevor, go ahead and show those outtakes.
Wow.
Those are fun.
Oh, okay.
Really confident. Wow. Really confident about your fun having. Sure.
You know, I saw, I think it might have been on your Twitter page. I'm not sure, John, but you had dressed up as Walter Sobchak at one point for a Halloween, I think.
That was Halloween 2 years ago, I think.
You pulled it off well.
Last year or the year before.
I like the fact that you had fun at the end of your video. I love that because I think one of the problems in our industry is sometimes guys have a tendency to take themselves too serious.
I'm certainly good at taking myself way too serious. The characters and the fun are it's a result of Genevieve is when we're out on the range, Genevieve is very, very good at reminding me that this is all about fun. So I get wrapped up in like, are we getting the right shots, and are we doing this, and are all the mags loaded? She's like, come on, we're having fun. And I'm like, yes we are. And that's why you hear her harassing me or teasing me, because she's very good at that. And I think it's a lot of fun. It's really good. And she definitely keeps me in check and down to earth, which is great. It's awesome. It's nice to have.
Yeah, it's good to have that element, because even today's show, normally we have cracked up a lot more by this point in the show because we're cracking jokes. But I thought, we're having the Gun Collective on. I need to make sure we showcase this awesome content, and I myself got a little bit caught up in the logistics of putting on the show, and it can take on a really serious, because this is work, which brings me to my next point. People sort of glamorize the notion of making YouTube content or digital content at all. They think you flip on the camera, you do some fun stuff, and you make money. But that's not really true. It's still work.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you oversimplify it, it is just flipping a camera on and having fun, especially when we get to go to the range and do that kind of stuff. But there's a lot that goes into it, a lot of thought, a lot of building relationships, a lot of aligning timing. Do we have the gun? Do we have the ammo? Are we getting the shot? Are the batteries charged? Like all these really nitpicky little things that all kind of add up. And it does take a lot. You're running a business. We're putting out a product by releasing videos. And
you do that at scale. That's the impressive thing. You do that at scale. It's 700 plus videos on your channel. Hey, Trevor. I need you to take over singing for me, because we have a very serious commercial to make about a very serious topic. Do you think you could sing Arms of an Angel while I talk over it?
I can do it for you. Ladies
and gentlemen, we are facing a very serious crisis. And that crisis is that at Cave Gang Pizza and Pub, my very own wood fire pizza restaurant and pub,
perfectly good beer is at risk of going to waste because we haven't been able to sell it. But you can help. Thanks to some new regulations by the State Liquor Board, we can now sell liquor out the drive-thru window. In order to save this beer from we need you to come to Cave Gang Pizza and Pub and buy beer through the drive-thru. You can do that by bringing your own sturdy, leak-proof container. And now you can cut to me, Trevor. I need to deliver the final. I couldn't get you to start, now I can't get you to stop. Very well done. All right, guys. In all seriousness, beer is going to go to waste. It's going to go bad before we can sell it. They did lift some restrictions on the sale of alcohol before. You could never sell draft beer through the drive-thru. Now they've said if you buy a meal and if we put it in a sturdy leak-proof container with tamper-proof tape sealing it, that you can buy beer and take it home with you through the drive-thru. So come to cavegangpizza.com, call in your order. Right now, we're closed for carryout and delivery only, or open for that only, I should say. Make sure you come in, get your beer, order it. You can get beer and mixed drinks. We have to put it in your supplied container with tamper-proof tape, and only you can save perfectly good beer. Welcome back to the Gun Shop Show. I'm joined by Jon Patton of the Gun Collective, and before we had to step away, you were telling us about the product or the business is making videos and put them on the internet, but there is work that goes into that.
Yeah, there's a lot of nuance to running a media outlet, as it were. Needing to make sure that we have all of the boxes checked just to go out to the range to create that content, and then the process of bringing that footage back, getting it edited, getting it looking the way our viewers expect from us, and then making sure that it's uploaded correctly across all of these platforms, and that we're filling out the metadata and all these little nuancy things. All of that stuff has to come together just to put something in front of the audience. And while, that sounds like it's something that could drive you crazy, it's just part of what makes this what we do.
Yeah, we're learning that firsthand. This is 1 hour on the radio, normally turns into 2 hour on the live feed and the podcast. And just the setup, reaching out to guests, you probably reach out for us, and we're new, so you reach out to 10 people and 3 of them say yes, and then you work within their schedules to make sure that it works with them. But just the production, making sure we have the right clips to cut away to, and then we usually go out and shoot at least something. And this is all just from Ozark rednecks that have ran a retail store, ran a dusty old gun shop, are now trying to get into the media space. And so we're both learning and trying to do all of that.
And run a gun store too.
And run a gun store at the same time, yeah.
Yeah, it's certainly, media outlets are full of people like that. Like YouTube especially is full of guys that are experts in one thing, or trying to learn one thing, like a tech guy or a cooking thing or a makeup thing, and then they also have to be very media savvy at the same time. So you kind of you're playing both sides of that coin. You're trying to be oftentimes in front of the camera, in front of the microphone, and then you also have to understand the behind so that the business will grow. And while it is challenging, it is one of the, I can't imagine having a life any other way. I can imagine it, but it's not as cool as it is now.
Right. Yeah. That makes me want to ask you the next thing, which is, did you have a background in this at all before you took to YouTube?
So I first got on YouTube in like 2010-ish with my older channel. And that's where my background comes from with the Gun Collective. Like I learned for years before I started the Gun Collective. So I had learned a lot. I had built a lot of relationships, and that was that allowed me to kind of accelerate with TGC. But before that, no, absolutely not. I actually have a background in networking, like computer networking. And I was a car guy, and I worked in warehouses. Like it just, none of that stuff equates to this. It was a hobby that I fell into and then kind of became a real job.
Was your original YouTube channel gun related or no?
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's called Chaos 311 Clarity.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's everything's still there. It was all gun stuff. It's funny. I got into guns around 2009, 2010, and a buddy of mine showed me some YouTube videos, and I was like, oh man, I think I can do that better. And my first videos are absolute trash, absolutely terrible. But since then, I have learned a significant amount, and I feel like my presenting chops have grown infinitely since then. And
you seem like someone who would be on a news network, and sometimes the format when you're using that green screen background and you've put up like kind of a cool graphic, you're presenting like you're watching the nightly news. And that's one thing that to me makes your channel stand out in a mix of, old guys standing in front of a shooting bench. Yours kind of jump out off the screen, and your presentation as fast-paced, upbeat, kind of sucks you in really fast.
Well, first of all, thank you. That was kind of by design. I personally don't enjoy long-form videos, especially when it comes to gun stuff. Like, I just don't enjoy it. I don't want to sit there for half an hour when I know for a fact the things that are being said could be said in 5 minutes. So that's why our content is rapid. We keep the pace up so that while you're listening, you're not like, okay, he said that already, now what? He said that already, now what? I don't want to make content like that because I wouldn't watch it. So we intentionally are trying to keep the polish has to be there, of course. It has to look good, we have to sound good, but the information has to be delivered quickly, and it has to be fun. There's so many gun content creators out there that are just a yawn fest, just straight up boring.
And what's
that's
funny,
not what we like to do. We like to keep it interesting.
There's a certain segment of people that they're willing to sit there for 26 minutes before the guy even gets the gun out of the box. And that's
sure.
And there's guys that like that. That's not me. But your content, I even told you when we were exchanging emails, I don't watch a lot of content because I'm here, running my store, running promotions, and in this case, the gun shop show, making my own content. So, I don't consume a lot, but even in show prep, as I'm looking at your channel and I see I think it's one of the most recent videos you did, which was why gun social media sites fail. And your video being that faster pace, it had the hook right at the beginning. It automatically, I related to it because I see the same thing. People want me to bring either my products to the new selling platform for guns or bring some of our content over there. And I thought your perspective in that video was not only excellently delivered, but right on point.
Well, thank you. That video actually went out yesterday as of when we're recording this, and it was a long time coming. I've talked about that topic off and on a lot, and I feel like it's important for me to try and educate and share that perspective so that the audience can potentially understand something better when I say other comments. It's really about kind of growing the collective knowledge, and I don't mean to call it like, yeah, it's collective. We all have that knowledge. It's not supposed to be a pun, even though it's a great pun.
Yes, it is.
It's really about sharing that knowledge base and trying to bring people up to speed so that we can all be better together and we can move forward and be educated and try to make the right decisions for our community as we all go forward.
And when we come, we only have a little time left on the radio, so I want to use that for a few more questions. But when we come back and we go, sort of our bonus hour is on Liberty Tree Guns Facebook page. And I want to play that video so we talk about what makes gun content hosting sites and social sites fail, which is also, in my opinion, some of the same reasons why a lot of gun brands and optic brands and product brands fail. It's a lot of the same arguments that you make. So I want to cover that. But before we go, I want to know if there's anything in particular that you're working on that isn't out yet that viewers can look forward to.
So we're doing a recap of our Gun Tubers of the Week. That's a fun project. So that's a segment where I select a sort of up-and-coming gun channel or something along that line. Sometimes it's some other type of media, but it's a helping hand when somebody's trying to grow and I see that they're making good content. We lift that up and feature them as Gun Tuber of the Week. And we're going to circle back to some of the earliest ones and kind of see where they are now. For those that are really tuned in, we've got guys like Garand Thumb, Last Line of Defense, Kentucky Ballistics, and a couple others that are really just blowing up right now. They're huge channels now. And we're going to circle back and kind of see where they were and where they are now. That's one that's going to be coming out real soon. And, of course, tons of other content as well.
That's exciting. For some of our radio listeners, because we're on Newstalk KZRG, which is a big talk radio platform, same place where people are hearing Rush Limbaugh and Joe Pags and a lot of those conservative things. A lot of these people love guns, and they go out and they shoot them on the weekends, and they have gun friends, but they don't realize just how much good stuff exists on the internet because maybe they haven't dipped their toe in the YouTube water as much. So it's really awesome of you to not just promote your own channel, but promote those guys that are putting out really good content of their own.
Well, I recognize that I would not have a business if it weren't for other people helping me out. I was fortunate, like I had said before with my old channel, I had met a lot of great people. And some of those people have some of the biggest gun channels out there, Military Arms, Iraq Vet. Specifically, those two guys brought me in to be on their channel very early in TGC's life. And without those appearances and without those guys deciding that they wanted to help me out and that they were going to allow me to promote what I'm doing, without that, I wouldn't be here.
John, let's keep talking on Liberty Tree Guns Facebook page. Join us there.
The Gun Shop Show, the Gun Shop Show. What is it? We don't know. The Gun Shop Show, the Gun Shop Show. Here we go, it's the Gun Shop Show.
All right, we're back with Jon Patton of the Gun Collective. What did you think about our theme song?
I think it is fantastic.
It's very sing-songy.
It's so in depth of what you guys do.
We don't know.
Really good. Yeah, it's good.
You were talking about when we left the radio about some of the guys that helped make your channel possible, and I wanted to hear more about that.
Sure. So without guys like Military Arms Channel and Iraq Vet allowing me to be on their channels, I wouldn't have been able to grow TGC to where it is. Like that, I wouldn't have gotten that first bump. And that's why the Gun Tuber of the Week segment exists, because I wanted the other people to get that same experience that I got. We can really help people accelerate their growth by just putting them in front of our audience. So that's what I like to do. And like I said before, when we were talking on the radio, we're kind of recapping some of the earliest Gun Tubers of the Week. and circling back to see where they're at now.
Tell me the story about how you got hooked up with those guys to begin with. How did you get on their channel?
So it's a really simple thing. I was doing some client work for a company called Lehigh Defense. You guys should check out their bullets and ammo. They're really, really forward-thinking designs. But I was going around filming high-speed video for videos on Military Arms Channel and Iraq Vet. So Lehigh said, hey, can you go down and do this? I had actually already known Tim and Eric and Chad, of course. I'd already known those guys, but being able to work with them on that level was a little bit different. So I was doing behind-the-scenes work, running a high-speed camera for their videos, and that meant I was in town, and I was able to kind of do other projects while I was in town with those guys. And they were like, hey, you just come on and promote TGC. So that's what we did. And it was a huge help, and I'll never forget the fact that those guys did that for me.
Was that a big jumping off point for you, John?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly was not it was not a small deal by any means. You know, those at the time, I can't remember exactly how many subscribers those guys had at the time. So it was years ago, but it doesn't matter. The thing is, they had a larger audience, and they were willing to help me and, you know, just be awesome. You know, they did some incredible things for me, and I don't think I'll ever forget that. But their channels have continued to grow, which is great, and we've continued to be friends and have great relationships. And it's really, the gun content creator community is very small, and those guys are a huge part of it. And I'm glad to be able to call them friends. And
it sounds like a
honestly,
brotherhood.
Inspirations to us. Yeah, I mean, yeah. It can be for sure. You know, it's growing all the time, so we don't all know each other always, and we certainly don't get to talk to each other all the time. But, you know, specifically with myself and Eric and his family, Chad and his family, and Tim and his family, those people welcomed me into their homes. They literally, I slept on their couches, I slept in their spare rooms and that sort of thing. They welcomed me into their home, treated me like family, and it's really wonderful.
That's great. And we've been talking about the challenges of how to deliver some of this content, and how content sometimes gets taken down or banned or demonetized. And so there's been a temptation to create an alternative to the major online platforms. And that has been attempted really over and over. And you made a video about why those haven't gotten traction. And if it's okay with you, I'd like to play that video, and you and I talk about it.
Sure.
Trevor, can you cue that one up?
With all the BS that's happening with sites like Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, sort of clamping down and outright shutting down gun content creators, a lot of folks are clamoring for a gun-specific social media or video hosting platform, someone that can take on the likes of Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. And while the idea behind that is great, most of the attempts flat out fail. Why is that? We'll break it down after the jump. Vertex makes some of the best EDC bags and gear around. Whether you're looking for a backpack, a messenger bag, or maybe something for your pup. They've got features like a rapid access weapon compartment, padded backing, a hot pull tab for quick access to the main compartment, and much, much more. Oh, and did I mention their jeans make my legs look better? Seriously, I can do so many high kicks.
You make your own ads,
and guys,
John.
if you want to get a huge discount, head over to Vertex, that's VERTX.com, and use our code TGC to get a whopping 25% off everything. Go do it. The idea of a gun-specific sanctuary for all great gun content to live and breathe without fear of oppression is wonderful. The unfortunate thing is that out of the mountain of sites that have come across my screens, I can't think of one that has figured it all out. For the purposes of this video, instead of mentioning social media and video hosting as separate entities, I'll just be referring to them as a platform. They'll just be platforms. Let me start all this off by saying I would love for one of these sites to blow up and be the next best thing for gun owners. It would be amazing to see all gun owners come together in a completely new way, sharing content and fighting bad laws and just being the awesome community that we all are. I mean, imagine it. A haven, a real haven for gun owners. Wouldn't that be incredible? Yeah, it really would. However, nearly all of them can't get out of their own way fast enough. First and foremost, the reason that the big three sites, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, that I keep mentioning, are successful is because they allow users to be multifaceted and share as much of themselves as possible. They want that. Gun owners are no different than non-gun owners in that they are more than just a single topic as a person. They're mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, business owners, workers, all races, all shapes and sizes, and yes, even all political affiliations. When you narrow all of that down, you only focus on one facet of a person, you don't get all of their attention. The amount of people that will break away from the big three just for one small portion of their life on a consistent basis is very small. That amount, like you're really just narrowing down the audience. Most of the sites have focused in so much on being gun specific that they lose sight of the bigger picture, which is being regular folks that happen to own guns. I'll recap. In order for a new platform to truly grow to epic proportions, it has to involve more than just guns. So that brings me to the topic of sort of marketing, that all-encompassing topic. A key part of how these sites grow. The word has to get out, right? We all need to hear about it somehow, and there has to be a good reason for people to stay on the site, right? It seems like once a month I get an email from some new hackneyed site promising to be the next gun version of the big three, free from oppression and other fanciful claims. I feel like the only way for you to truly grasp these conversations is for me to act them out. So here's a little skit for you.
Welcome to Patton Media and Consulting. How can I help you?
Hi, my name is High Point McFlumpynuts, and I have this new gun-specific social media and video hosting platform, and we would love to see the Gun Collective on it.
I'm sorry, what the f*** did you say your name was?
Yeah, it's High Point McFlumpynuts. The site's going to be amazing. You can check it out at poorlybuiltgunwebsite.com.
Is this the site? It looks like MySpace, like circa 2004.
Sorry, that was a redirect to our MySpace. The actual URL is poorlybuiltgunwebsite.com/newtrash.html.
All right, we might be able to do that. I really, though, it's important to know that I do not want to like overload the audience and push all this new stuff all at the same time. What's the plan for promoting the site?
We were really hoping you would tell your audience about it. You know, they would really love it. Could you do that? I mean, we really want you, please. Please.
Do you have a budget for promotions like this? I mean, this is our livelihood, and we don't really want to have the lights shut off on us. And besides, the audience really doesn't want to be jerked around anymore. They're tired of that. The site has to be ready to go with great content and great creators from the start.
I mean, we don't really have a budget yet, but we were thinking about maybe doing some revenue share on some ads that we might do in the future on videos that might happen. We might do it, maybe.
So here's the catch-22. You want the creators to spend hours a week uploading to a site that has no audience to bring a new audience. That's kind of counterintuitive. I mean, at that point, why wouldn't they just start their own site?
That's really correct. We've actually already started a channel for you, and we're already uploading your videos right now.
Whoa. I didn't give you permission to do that. Like, what do you do? You're stealing my content here.
Sorry, we're just so excited that you're already on board with us.
Well, I never said, you know what? We're done here. And scene.
You see, boys and girls, in my experience, the people that build these sites only have part of the plan figured out. Think of all those fly-by-night gun social media sites that came up when Facebook and YouTube started cracking down. Gunstreamer. This one kind of has potential. There are already some great creators over there, but it's the exact same content that you can get anywhere else. There's no reason to go over to another site just to watch all the same stuff. As an example, Guns and Gadgets is the top trending video on Gunstreamer right now, at the time of filming this, with 105 views. That same video over on YouTube has almost 100,000 views, nearly 1,000 times more views. Why does that matter? Content creators are small teams, right? Heck, I know Jared is a one-man crew. it's tough to justify shouting into an empty room, right? Why would you put content where nobody is and nobody will see it? Why expend that effort? Another one that people bring up is Utah Gun Exchange. Remember that mess? That site is still a mess from the ground up. Not only did the owner get arrested on multiple drug trafficking and gun felonies, but he was also a huge dick to anyone that said anything negative about the site. And on top of that, they were doing nothing but trying super hard at being an ultra right-wing Trump-supporting site, pandering to what they thought people wanted and trying to make money off you the entire time. And of course now their site is full of stolen and reposted mainstream content among conspiracy theorists and other low-effort content. It's just not a place where the audience and creators will want to go. And that brings me to Full 30. Man, what a downward spiral that has been. At the beginning, it was incredible. So much potential. All the big names were there. There was so much buzz about how good it was going to be for the entire industry. There was going to be an app, and everybody was going to be able to go and check it mobily, and everyone was going to be able to build communities, and the site was going to be able to crush YouTube. And now it's best described as a fallout shelter. All of the content being posted there is the same stuff that you can get on the big three. The streaming quality has actually been reduced over time to 480p. And from a creator's perspective, the ad revenue they promised has completely dried up, with some folks getting paid by handwritten checks months after they were supposed to be. And did I mention there's still no app? Years later, there's still no app. Now, I've been told that there's another ownership change recently and that things are going to be better, but it's been months since I first heard that and nothing's changed. You know, I want to believe that someone can pull this off. In fact, I'm really hopeful that the Warrior Poet Society Network has the power to do that. Those guys are really smart and they've got a great plan in motion already. But based on
Trevor,
what I've seen so far, it's going to be a hard battle to win.
So let's
but
go
you know
ahead
what?
and
Maybe
cut
I'm
that
wrong.
and,
Maybe there is a site out there that will
say goodbye. John, are you still coming up on a hard out for you?
Yeah, I've got to roll in a couple minutes. I just want to say thank you for playing that out there, and I hope that people get something from that content. I think thinking about what we need as a community and applying that to how people behave, like humans behave, that the person that figures those two things out and puts them together will win. It's that simple.
Well,
that person will win.
You know, I wondered too how broadly popular that particular video would be with gun interested viewers, but it really resonates with someone like me who needs to promote both the gun shop show and Liberty Tree Guns in a place that is secure to do so. But I hate the suggestions. Well, go over here because it's gun friendly. It might be gun friendly, but if nobody's watching it, it doesn't matter. And so that I thought was spot on. It reminded me of a lot of pitches that I've got in the store with product that's the same way. It has no support. It has no marketing. People don't know who it is. And I say, okay, how am I going to sell this? And they're like, that's where you come in, like
right. You do all the work for us.
Yeah. And I've even had people, and I take them in my office and I give them a little speech. I have people that have a brand new idea. They got a Dumafligi and they've made a few of them and they sold them to their buddies at work, and it's a good idea. They bring it to me and they want me to sell it in the store, and they have no packaging, they have no pricing model, they have no plan for when and how I'm going to replenish that product. So they've just, I have to tell them, if I wanted to do all of that, I would do that with my own products. I don't need an extra chore for you bringing me this thing. And so I feel like in a lot of ways that's what people have asked you to do when they ask you to join those kind of platforms.
Those platforms oftentimes, I got pitched another one a couple days ago. It's supposed to be some sort of Netflix competitor, and it's like some poorly built thing. It's always badly designed. And, I wish that the folks that are trying to create the next best thing would spend just as much time trying to create a better foundation for that. It always comes across my desk, and it's always every single time, we are going to rely on you, like they are going to rely on content creators, or in your case, the business is going to rely on a gun shop to do the heavy lifting for getting their business to work. And I always come back, why would I do that when I have my own business? Why would I basically put your business on the map if I don't win out of that? This is, at the end of the day, in order for me personally to do something like that, I either have to really like the people, really like the product, or really, win out of it in some way, or maybe all three of those. And that is a very, very rare occasion. It's a rare occasion. There's been times when we've shared something on the news that's new and cool, and maybe it's a small brand, and maybe we do something great for them. But that's more about being able to share something new and interesting that has potential to do good. But we buffer that. We say, this is new and it might fail. But at the same time, with these sites, it's been done poorly over and over and over again, and it's time for somebody to win. And maybe, I mentioned John Lovell and crew, the Warrior Poet Society. John and Evan that run that are incredible, and I really hope that they win. I really do. I think they have potential to do so. I just, we'll see.
Yeah, and a lot of times those projects are headed by somebody that talks a lot and really confidently, and so they get a little bit of traction based on their personality and saying what it's going to do and making these promises. But when you pull back the curtain, they don't know what they don't know, and so I'm ready for it too. If somebody comes up with it and they back it and promote it, we'll put our content there and we'll promote and advertise on it. But until that happens, we've got to work within the climate, which brings me to, I know you got to go, so I want you to tell the viewers and listeners where they can find the Gun Collective.
Well, you can go on your Google machine, on your phone, on your desktop, wherever, and punch in The Gun Collective, and you'll see my face pop up. And that's going to be that. It's really simple to find. We are all over the place. And we would really appreciate you guys giving us a look and tuning in.
I'm a subscriber, and that's a very short list of people that I subscribe to. So I do recommend it for the Gun Shop Show viewers, Liberty Tree Guns fans. You're going to find this in, if you appreciate our stuff, I think you're going to really like the Gun Collective. And John, I will be in touch. I'd like to talk to you a little bit more about your consulting firm and some shop talk that you and I may be able to do. So I sure appreciate your time. This has been a great episode of the Gun Shop Show. Thank you very much.
Nope, of course. Thanks for having me, guys. I can't wait to see how your show grows.
Thank you. And we'll be talking more soon.
All right. Thanks, guys. See you soon.
All right. Thanks, John. All right, so John is a hard-working dude putting out good content, and I recommend that everybody follow the Gun Collective. A couple more things that we need to cover before we leave you is, if you would like a chance to get a free cleaning kit, all you have to do is go to Liberty Tree Guns and check out one of our 2 or 3 or 4 T-shirt designs. This is one of the 2 newest ones. This is the sort of "Don't Tread on Me" version of the Liberty Tree logo. Also, I'm going to stand up here real quick and you can see the American flag version. These are both, I stepped on my headphone cord. That's going to slow you down.
You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, man, look at all that freedom.
All right, look at that. That's awkward.
That's a new stand, too.
Yeah, you haven't seen this. This is I call this the tea kettle. It sells the crap out of T-shirts.
Man, every time you pour out another
sales
T-shirt.
Roll in. Tip me over and pour me out.
Cha-ching.
All right, guys. I wanted to tell you about the gun that Trevor and I took out and shot. But before we did, we stopped at Dollar General.
Yes, we did.
I forgot to put them in the feed, but I took some pictures of you buying the stuff at Dollar General.
Did I have my hair done? Was my hair done?
Did you see the cashier?
No. I was too busy reading the headlines on the National Enquirer.
Oh yeah. So before we went out and shot this Smith & Wesson 64-8. We stopped by the Dollar General and I started loading up my arms with 2-liter bottles of Fanta and what else did we buy? We looked at a lot of stuff. I can't remember.
We did. I don't, let's see. It was Fanta. We bought some mango drink, I believe. Something to that effect.
Yeah, it was, no. It was guava nectar.
Guava nectar. We're going to take it out on the guava nectar.
We were running short on time when we went out to shoot this, and so we didn't get to shoot the guava nectar, but you just wait. That's going to be happening on the Gun Shop Show.
There was another little treat that we picked up too.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we want to let that cat out of the bag, but let's just say if we do, there probably will be a herd of cats.
We don't want to spam the viewers.
Right. We don't want to spam them.
Spoiler alert. Okay, so do we have clips of this consignment gun that we got the chance to take out to the range?
We do. Which one would you like to roll first?
I don't care.
Okay, let's hit him with your sultry tones here.
One of our many great consignment guns at Liberty Tree
Well,
Guns.
we're going to fade right back real quick,
Yeah.
and then Trevor is going to get himself together.
Do I need to get him? Logan, could you get him a box?
I was actually thinking maybe we could mute, and then you could give me a talking down too.
Ooh, yeah,
dressing down.
Here, go ahead and mute it.
Mute it.
All right, Trevor. Now that we're muted, I need you to go ahead and to your right. There's a box.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and pick that up.
Okay, picked up.
And go ahead and get your together. Okay.
It's together now.
All right.
All right.
I don't want to have to berate you on. It's a good thing we're muted right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want people to hear this and how I am having to talk through my teeth because I'm a little irritated.
I understand. I'm sorry.
Let's try this again.
I'm sorry.
All right, guys. Sorry about that break. No big deal. Just working out some technical stuff in the background while we're muted. And let's try again.
Here come the sultry tones of Eli Bruton, ladies and gentlemen.
One of our many great consignment guns at Liberty Tree Guns. It's a little older model, Smith & Wesson 64-8. We're going to try out that single action trigger pull.
It's intrusive.
Intense. It's like being there.
Yeah. With no ear pro on.
Right?
Sorry, guys.
We're going to have to put on some ear protection to play these videos.
You're going to need a new iPhone now.
That's how lifelike that is.
This gun is one of our many consignment firearms, and it is really got that classic Smith & Wesson revolver. Can you do the shot of it, Trevor, so we put that on screen where we pan over it?
Yeah.
So this is a stainless Smith & Wesson 64-8 revolver and 38 plus P. So it's kind of a full-size revolver. It's not a large frame one, but it's kind of a middle size, and it's just super fun to shoot. This is the kind of inventory that we frequently have at Liberty Tree Guns. Obviously, it's double action or single action, so we shot at single action a lot, where we go ahead and cock the hammer and fire it, and we will drop a link in the comments. Let me know, do you guys like this? We'll check out the comments and see if you're interested in this. I know it's not going to last long. This probably, as soon as we get this on the shelf, it'll probably go. So if you're interested, grab it at that link. You can put it on layaway for 10% down. And we got another shot of Trevor shooting that thing.
We do. Real quick, Eli, I just wanted to say I had never fired a revolver before.
Ever.
Had never fired one before. And that one, it handled like a Lincoln Town car.
It felt right.
It just, it hugged me, you know?
Yeah.
And not only that, I didn't really feel a whole lot of recoil off of it. It fired well. I mean, it was a good little firearm. The what do you call that? The hammer thingy.
The hammer.
Sorry. The hammer wasn't too hard to pull back. It wasn't awkward. Also, that wood grip, it kind of smacked of a 1980s era station wagon, and I would like to see that. If it had some trim along the wood grip there, really, class it up.
I could see Trevor saying, "My gun collection smells of rich mahogany." It's. I didn't realize that was your first time shooting a revolver, but it being low recoil was really no indication of the amount of firepower that you're getting from 38 plus P.
That is correct, and we demonstrated that in another video,
which we're going to play.
We could show.
If you let me mute it again.
Oh yeah, you're gonna
mess this one up too.
I'm gonna try not to. Okay. Not like that time we did the Christmas video.
Do you remember that?
I do remember that. Also, we're back on now, folks. You're not gonna want to watch that Christmas flyer video. You're definitely not gonna want to fast forward to the part where the flyer is in that video. Don't do it.
Let me know in the comments. Do you remember the video where we filmed the whole thing and someone forgot to turn the microphone on?
Oh, that was another video. Yeah. If I remember correctly, you spent the whole time reminding the audience that I had failed to turn on the audio.
We should find that.
That was pretty funny.
Play it back in the next episode. But
we made up for it in the next video where we made sure to never turn off the microphone, no matter what.
Yeah. Okay. Let's
you ready?
Let's show.
Let's roll it.
Trevor firing at the bottle of Fanta.
This is the remix.
Slow mo. When did you?
that was. I actually did that.
Yeah, that was amazing.
That was real. That was not edited at all. That was real trigger pulls. Just kidding. No, definitely edited.
I asked you yesterday, do you have time to get those in for the feed? And you're like, barely. And then you took it. You're like, I might. I just see. I'm going to be pressed for time. And then you took it and did that.
Well, it turns out that was really easy to do. Yeah, it wasn't too complicated. So next, I think we're going to do some Chopin. We'll do gunfires of all your greatest hits, the top 40.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to know what you think in the comments about the format of shooting bottles of Fanta, because I feel like I like that.
We did it for pancreases everywhere.
Logan, what do you think
about shooting the bottle of Fanta?
Yeah,
I liked it. I thought it was fun.
Do you drink Fanta?
No. Well, actually, grape Fanta.
Are you pro Fanta?
Why did you say no and then have a very specific flavor that you're familiar
I
with?
forgot that I drink grape Fanta.
That's weird.
I barely ever drink it. It's the only flavor I drink.
He drinks it, but he barely ever drinks it.
I drink it. Barely.
He just let it drain across your lips. He doesn't.
A few drops.
He just pours it across his mouth.
I barely drink it. I pour a lot of it, but only a little bit do I drink. Yeah, that's confidence in motion.
That's going in your bio, Logan, by the way.
He barely drinks.
I drink Fanta.
He's like, just barely. Socially. I just drink grape Fanta socially. When other people are drinking grape Fanta.
He does it in wine glasses too, I'm sure.
Of course.
Well, it looks like grape, or what's the grape liquor stuff? Wine. Yeah, that's it.
I thought
it's like wine.
I thought there was going to be like an actual grape seltzer or something. You heard of. What's the grape? That classic. It's been around since about 800 BC.
Yeah, since beginning of time.
Yeah, like pretty much some of the first recordings of human stored edible product. What is that again?
I'm thinking, Logan, you could do a mashup of grape Fanta and wine. Give us some feedback.
Yeah.
Okay.
Logan.
I'll do that for the next episode.
Logan recounts the time that Jesus turned water into grape Fanta.
Do you guys know the history of Fanta?
I didn't know.
Yeah, there's history with Fanta. I mean, I don't want to like be the leading knowledge guy on Fanta, but if my memory serves correct, it's a Coke product, and it had something to do with World War II.
Is that all you know?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
I'm going to look it up. I'm not going to talk out of my rear on this.
While you look it up, let's show a behind the scenes of how we prep the Fanta to be shot. Do you have that one?
Oh, yeah, hang on. I got to pull that one up. I forgot all about that one.
Yeah. This is how we get the Fanta ready, and the way, our staffing is limited, so we have to do what we can to get this production value.
Since I failed to get this video prepped, maybe we should mute the mic and you dress me down again.
Okay, go ahead and mute it.
All right. Muted.
All right. I'm really trying to make this show thing work. And so it's very frustrating when I've given you a box, I've given you instructions, and the box, of course, is to go ahead and get your together.
All right. Okay, I'm ready to go. We can unmute. Yeah,
Okay.
you really gave it to me on that one. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, okay. Unmute it.
Okay. All right. Let's get it. We're going to get it prepped here. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is our this is video prep work. This is work.
I'm getting paid for this. All right.
Which color do you want us to shoot?
Orange.
All right, pick it up. Can you help out? Shake it up for us.
He looks like a...
I like how he cocked it back.
Yeah, it was like...
Oh, what happened?
Oh, man, hang on.
Oh, there we go.
When he got it ready, he
Shake it
looked
up for the
like
camera.
Elvis getting ready to go into his
Get all
moves.
zoomed in.
Back it up to that point when he does that.
When he like brings it back.
Yeah, he's like...
All right, which color do you want us to shoot?
Here we go.
All right, pick it up.
He's got it out for orange.
Can you help out? Shake it up for us.
That is
Check it
my
out for the
son Nolan, and he likes to help out, and he's good at, how I pegged him for the guy to shake up the soda?
How's that?
Every now and then when we go to our favorite taco place, my wife gets a glass bottle from Mexico Coca-Cola, and I send it back, and I tell him very specifically, carry this carefully, don't shake it up. But it's very shaken up by the time we get there. So the one time we needed it to be shook up, I had the man for the job.
I'm sure he was just dying to get some shaking going on. Whole lot of shaking going on. I saw how you also got Rookie of the Year to do it for you too.
Yeah, he's Rookie of the Year of shaking up soda.
So are you ready for this mad Fanta knowledge?
Oh, yeah, drop it on me.
All right, here we go. This is per Wikipedia, but during the Second World War, the U.S. established a trade embargo against Germany, making the export of Coca-Cola syrup difficult. To circumvent this, Max Keith, the head of Coca-Cola Deutschland, decided to create a new product for the German market, using only ingredients available in Germany at the time. Aha! Fanta.
So it's a Nazi soda.
Pretty much, and that makes sense of why Logan is a drinker of it.
That's true.
I'm just kidding.
He's
Logan, not a Nazi, ladies
Secretly
and
a
gentlemen.
Nazi supporter.
Sympathizer. He's a sympathizer.
I can't click over. My thing's
They
dead.
were a
but
victim.
Yeah, that's weird that you had that queued up, but it's not. That's the wrong terrorist organization because we decided that he was, of course, Boko Haram.
Boko Haram. That, by the way, that's Nigerian.
Yeah, that was wrong too. That was wrong too.
Getting closer.
I missed the part. I was digging out my voicemail phone and missed why exactly there was a shortage of the Coke syrup.
Because of a trade embargo.
Oh, they couldn't
yeah,
get it in.
the U.S. wouldn't allow for us to trade with Germany. They were like, no can do.
No, we're not going to give them any more money right now.
They got that Hall & Oates treatment.
Yeah. Wait.
They can't go for that.
Oh.
Can't go for that. Yeah. Got it. I wanted to remind you that we have a segment on the show called Checking the Voicemail, which we love to do to check your voicemails. We didn't have time to do it today, but I wanted to remind you that you can call 208-918-1776, and we will answer your questions and take your comments live on the air. And so make sure for next show you call. Trevor, do you go ahead and have your the number for the screen?
The number for the screen?
Yeah, if you can put that up on the screen.
The screen number.
If we waste enough time, I can get it up on the screen.
Yeah, so
want
to go ahead and mute the mic?
Yeah, let's mute that mic real quick and give me a stern talking to.
God, he never has anything ready.
I'm sorry I let you guys down all the time. All the time. I'm trying my best here, guys.
That was for both of us.
Yeah, that sigh was how
deep.
I feel inside.
That was real deep.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm working on. I've almost got it.
Okay.
I'm so
I'm gonna
close,
repeat
guys.
it a couple more times because
Okay.
we need you. 208
208
918 1776.
Oh man, it's that 1776 that really sells it.
That is it.
All right. Okay, so we can probably unmute the mic now.
Yeah, let's unmute
I'll
it.
let everybody back into the
podcast.
Yeah, and I'm gonna throw it up. I'm gonna throw it up.
Okay.
Or I'm gonna try it. There we go. Oh yeah.
Leave us a voicemail at 208-918-1776. We will check it, play it back, and reply right here on the Gun Shop Show. Couple quick reminders. If you would like to have a free hat, make sure that you go to libertytreeguns.com, go to the merch section, and just pick one of those up for absolutely free. You can come in the store and grab it. There is no charge for that. There's no catch. So make sure that you do that. Oh, lastly, we want to talk about the gummy bear guessing contest. Of everyone who guessed the giraffe full of, that's what it's called, right?
That's the technical term, giraffe.
Giraffe.
You can put OJ in that.
The giraffe of ammo. We had over 1,500 comments on our Facebook page. Our Facebook page is quite the cool place to hang out because we're giving away stuff like ammo.
Mm-hmm.
We had over 1,500 comments guessing the total number in there. And there was a 7-way tie for the closest guess of 330. They guessed 333 rounds. 7 people did. No one guessed the actual number, which was 334. So we put those 7 people in a guess off for gummy bears.
Guess of the century is what I heard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know what I did not expect?
Anyone to get injured.
Yeah, it didn't, and they didn't. So
it's injury free.
Yeah.
Guess off.
That's not. But their gummy bears were very simple delicacy all of my life, but apparently now they resemble something else. It's in gummy form.
What? Oh, you talking about like Colorado compliant gummy bears?
Medical marijuana.
Ooh, Mickey.
You went with the traditional pronunciation.
Yeah. That wacky weedus. People thought that
oh, did they really?
That we had a jar full of medical marijuana gummies.
That's crazy, man. If that was the case, I can't imagine that they would have just been sitting around. Somebody would have swiped them.
Right.
I had someone private message me and said, "How long are you going to be doing the guessing contest for the edibles?" I'm like, first of all,
the rebirth of gummy bears.
I'm not an expert. That would be a bad idea to mix guns and edible marijuana. But also, someone in the comments tell me, would that not be a lot of money's worth of... Because I don't think those things are cheap, right?
I can't imagine they are. I mean, they're scarce, I would assume. I mean, you can't get them around here.
Well, no, but in Colorado, when I visited there, you see advertisements for, legal dispensaries, and I don't think that you would be able to fill up a jar of those without several $100s.
I'm sure it would be quite expensive, but
they're not like Haribo's.
Yeah.
Which are,
well, that's the original. If I remember correctly, Haribo is the original gummy bear.
you have a lot of knowledge about soda and candy.
I used to watch the Food Network
What is that
shows
thing?
Candy. Well, there was How It's Made, but that's not what I'm thinking of. It might have been the gummy bear for the How It's Made, but no, there was another show, Sweet something. I don't remember. They did a lot of candy and stuff like that. How It's Made sort
I think
of stuff.
Haribo's were the original gummy bears.
Yeah, and they're delicious too, by the way. I had some. Not out of that. I didn't change the count.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's been locked away in my office, but what didn't fit in the jar went in a bag, and I said, I'm going to put these out. You guys get in the...
I saw that.
In the spirit and eat these, and I came in the next morning, they were all gone.
They're gone? Because they were here yesterday. But those were all personally touched by you, I would assume.
Well, I licked them.
Good.
Yeah, I mean,
That's why we ate them.
Yeah, that extra kick.
You know, you got to do things to create community within your business, and one of the ways to do that is exchange saliva.
Yeah,
not directly. That'd be weird.
That's how we keep our. That's how we're all in such
In
great
tune.
health. We're sharing
In tune. Yeah,
sharing
right.
antibodies.
That's right. That's not a good time to joke about that.
Well, I think we started shelves. We've got a stack of Haribos, and then we've got Haribos licked by Eli. Those are actually marked up only a couple bucks. So if you guys want to come in, get you a bag of personally salivated Haribos.
And I lick those myself. I don't have a ghost liquor. I do all that.
Ghost liquor.
I put in the hours. I lick those myself personally.
That's dedication to your craft, man.
Yeah. Okay, guys. This has been a great episode of the Gun Shop Show.
Wait, did we announce the winner? I don't think we did.
We didn't. Okay. I was going to close it.
I thought so.
I'm sorry, guys. Do you want to mute the mic and give me a talking to?
Yeah. Hey, man, here's this box that you kept giving me. If you could go ahead and get your things together, that'd be great. And we're back.
All right, we're back. Guys, there was a winner. So of the 7 contestants in the guess off, only a couple of them got their guess in. And of those 2, the winner of the 334 rounds of 9mm full metal jacket by way of TKO and an official Gummy Bear guess off is Mr. Josh Willis. All right, guys, we're going to be doing more fun giveaways and guessing contests and gun promotions and giveaways on libertytreeguns.com. And we wanted to remind you that right now is a great time to get your consignments in. This gun, for example, just hit the shelves, and it won't likely last the rest of the day. And so it is a seller's market right now. We need inventory. You know, the shelves are filling back up a little bit from their lowest point, but we still need more inventory. And so nobody is better suited than Liberty Tree Guns to sell your firearms. When you bring those in, we write a high-quality description that we know is likely to sell your gun. We inspect it, and we make sure that it is as clean and presentable as possible. We get high-definition photos that we then push out on all of our selling channels, which includes our big email list, our social media platforms, Gun Broker, as well as libertytreeguns.com, which gets lots of traffic every month, and we have over a 95% success rate in selling consignment firearms. So if you have firearms that you would like to turn into cold, hard cash, bring those into Liberty Tree Guns, or send us an email or contact us through libertytreeguns.com, and we will help you with that. You can ship your guns in to be sold on consignment, or you can bring them in here to the store, 530 West Fur Road in Carthage, Missouri. Sure appreciate you joining us for this episode of the Gun Shop Show. Make sure you check the show notes for links to the Gun Collective, links to this firearm, as well as the Shield 9EZ, which I believe is going to be on sale this week.
Yeah,
That's
it
right.
will be. Mm-hmm.
So that email, which is going out today, will have a sale price for the Shield 9EZ that you saw in today's show. Fantastic firearm, great value, and now you can get it for a limited time at an even better price. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time on the Gun Shop Show. Find the podcast on all the major podcast players.
The Gun Shop Show, the Gun Shop Show. What is it? We don't know. The Gun Shop Show, the Gun Shop Show. Here we go, it's the Gun Shop Show.